Rightio, hello and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to be drawing these two lovely zebra, and I am going to start by drawing the face of this first zebra. Get my dip pen over there on my left hand side of my screen. You can see the reference I got up there top left. I got that off Unsplash. It's one of my favourite websites to get wildlife shots from, and I'm going to start drawing the face of this first zebra. So you can't really see his nose. His nose is in her nose, rather, is in the grass. See her cheek there comes up. Her eyebrow is above the back part of her cheek, actually. Oh no, that's her ear. Her ear comes down to the front part of the cheek, down there. Her eyebrow, sorry, and her ear is in line with the back part of her cheek. And then I will measure her head to get the measurements for the rest of her body. So her head is 2 times her neck. So if I measure her head, and I'll go 1 time, it's about there, and then 2 times is about there. So that's the length of her neck. Got to get the angle a bit better. So her neck's on, I'm looking at angles the whole time, her neck's on that kind of an angle. Her neck comes up on that angle on the underside of her neck. All right, now her body is 1.5 times, one and a bit times her neck. So if I measure her neck and her body, neck, I'll mark that about there. That's the one length of her neck. And then half that again, so about, or not, a little bit less than half that, is the length of her back. So I'll draw the back, and then a little bit of a bum. Comes down on a slight angle, and then you can't see her chest, but you can see her back end comes down there like that. Okay, so now for the foal, I can see the foal, it's almost to the top of her body, it's about there, and her shoulder is just at the back of her mother's shoulder, and her bottom goes just past her mum's rump, that line of her back there, just past, and then down like that. Foals have very long legs. You can see the angle of their bottoms is about the same. Her neck is the same length as her back. So I'm going to use my pen to measure her back. So her back's that long. So about there is the length of her head. Head goes down on that sort of an angle. And then her little head is much narrower, but goes to the same length as the mum's nose, touching the ground there. Just little all over, like that. And her chin, her shoulder, and her chest, there like that. She's got quite a deep little chest. Draw her little tummy in first, then I'll draw her legs. That leg comes down almost straight. Like that. Now her face, and yeah, her leg is the same length as her face. Her hock comes down to there. Her front leg is aimed back because she's sort of reaching with her one front leg, one's back, one's forward. So remember that, have one back, one forward. The back leg comes down like that. I'm going to narrow off her head a little bit, like that. That front leg is straight almost, like that. It goes straight down, oops, like that. Her other back leg, you can just see the front of it, goes behind that one, and then goes down there. And you can just see the fluff on her tail there. They've got beautiful big eyes, so I'll draw her beautiful big eye. Like that. Now I've got to draw Mum's leg in. So Mum's leg comes down here. Their knees are the same height. Like that. Goes down there like that. And the other leg is back, sort of the same similar angle, but behind that one there. Draw Mum's eye. Excuse me, Bear. It's my dog barking. Excuse my dog. Right. And then draw her muzzle coming down there. And her mane is standy uppy. Excuse me, Bear, my little dog. Excuse my little dog. Her mane comes up above her ear, her back ear. I'm just going to draw the squiggly line. Tidy that up in a bit. Like that. Her mane goes like that. And the foal's mane is pretty much the same. Let's draw the rough line in. I'll let Bear out. Excuse me for a second. Just let Bear out. Sorry about that, guys. Okie doke. Now, this leg comes, excuse my dog's in the background, comes out the back here, like that, and down to the ground, like that. You can only just see that hock there, like that, and her tail comes out and swooshes around like that. All right, there we go. So that's the basic outline. All right. Now I can start. I'm going to add a layer. So add a layer. So that's the drawing layer 1, is that one. So I'm going to drag that behind. Can I drag that behind? How do I drag that behind? Hang on, I'll try mouse click. Yeah, to there. No. To there. And then I'm going to do the background as a brown colour. So actually, oh yeah, hang on, which one's that? That's that. Nope. So that's paint layer 1. So I do want paint layer 2 up there. And I'll move it back. Like that. Okay. And I'll draw in the stripes. Actually, I'll erase a little bit. Make my eraser a little bit bigger. Like that. And I can get rid of some of the sort of messy underlines, because I've done quite a few messy underlines. Like that. I'll get rid of that line there. Get rid of that line there. That's the mum's back leg, so that's fine. All right, get rid of these pencil marks here. Get rid of a bit in there. Get rid of that line because her tail sort of swooshes around there. Yeah, that's the mum's leg. So I'm going to delete that bit there. Okay, now I am going to draw in. I'll stay with that first layer, and I'll just draw in these stripes. Make my pen smaller. Can't see her nose particularly. Oops, what's going on here? What's going on? Oh, I've still got to erase, that's why. So I'll draw her stripes on. start to pick up shapes. Not going to be exactly like the reference. Let's get rid of that bottom line. Her stripes come down her face. She's got lines that come straight down like that, and then on an angle like that. I love the patterns in zebra. They're just really relaxing to draw. They're like drawing a, I forgot what those things, a mandala. They've got a very mandala kind of feel to them. I think that's what they're called. Can't remember what they're called. You know what I mean. Where stripes come down. Sort of a pattern. They're all a little bit different. None are the same. Like that. Okay, and then they come down onto her face. Like that. Around there. All right, so that's pretty much the one's face. I draw the background in. I don't know whether I'll draw the background. I might just give her a solid greyish brown background. Let's see if I can do that. So I go to background, then I go to this sort of a tanny colour. I want to go into the reddy browns though, like a grassy browny grey. Oh, it's sort of a golden, isn't it? It's more of a that colour, maybe that. Can I do that? How do I do that? And then I go paint drop, see if this will work. Where's my bucket? Where's my picture of my little bucket? There's a picture of a little bucket here somewhere. There it is. There it is. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay. So then I'm just going to leave that like that. Interesting. Why has it erased some of those bits? Doesn't matter anyway, because that'll be the colour of the zebra. That's fine. So now I'm going to go, so that's the background layer. Oh, I see what I've done. Hang on. Okay. So on the paint layer, so I've done that on the paint layer, have I? All right, that's all right. I'll just colour those bits in. I'll colour those bits in that I've missed. I just messed up like that. I'll just fill them in. That's all good. Like that. Just block those in. Oops, make my pen a bit bigger. Make it a bit easier, like that. Just tidy that up. I thought I did it on a different layer, but it doesn't matter. I'll just leave the outline like that. The rest I can just patch up as I go. All right. So I'm going to start now. I'm going to do a colour layer. So I'm going to add a layer. And I'm going to go into the darks. Go into the reddy browns, almost blacks. I'm going to go to a hard sort of a brush. Ooh, that's way too hard. I'm going to make that brush smaller and fill in some of these lines just for fun. Help get some of the perspective going. Like that. See the lines that it comes up there. All right. Come up to her eye, go around the back of her eye. See, her eye's a beautiful teardrop shape. Like that. around here. And you can see her white, they're not all bright white. They've got dusty colours and grey colours, and so there'll be quite a few layers of her base fur. She'll have lights and greys and browns and all kinds of fun things. I'll also do that with this black. It won't just be a flat black that I've got at the moment. Down and around. Fill all of that in. And then I can actually do her nose as well, but I'm going to do that bucket tool with her nose. Like that, come down and around. Then go bucket tool and do that, and that fills that in for me. Go back to the brush and I'll just fill in those edges. The teeny bits that I missed, like that. There we go. That fills in her muzzle. I'll do the top of her ear. I've got to make that a fraction smaller because it's a big sort of a pen tool. It's like I would imagine this, if this was a real brush, it'd be a texter, like a marker. One comes down the back of that ear, around the edge of this ear. It's dark. I'll give her almost a chocolatey brown eye. Worry about that detail in a minute. Go back to the darky black, almost black colour. Go back to my dip pen now, and I can start to mark in. Actually, I'll stay with this pen and I'll just draw them in, won't I? Oh, let's do that. Let's just draw the lines in like that. Then coming down her mane, because her mane actually also carries the lines, the shape of her neck. You've got to always remember the shape of their necks. She's got slightly rounded there. Comes down to that bottom line. I'll just start to build up, keeping the lines reasonably close together. I usually draw the lines and fill them in, but you know what? This is actually easier. Let's just do them start to finish like that. Again, follow that round. You can see that one sort of joins in to the one behind it. So I'll draw that line there like that. Then I'm not going to draw exactly the same amount. Down and around like that. Like that, because they can join. The marks, the stripes are like a fingerprint. Come up to here, because that's where the pony's, the foal's mane is. Stay above her mane, like that. Her mane would come to about there. Come onto that line there. All right, and then down onto her shoulder. Like that. And at the back of her mane like that. And I'll continue around. Fill that in. I'll do Bubby's lines separately. That's almost a bit too universal. I'm going to get rid of that, not have it quite so straight, because they're not straight. Do it a little bit off, a little bit bent lines, because nothing in nature is perfectly straight. All these people who redo lines drive me crazy. And you can see she's actually got a dorsal stripe. So that line comes up and around there and goes the length of her back. Interesting, I never noticed that before. I'll tidy up that top line in a little while. I'll just rough in where it connects onto the foal or gets near the foal. Have a line comes up there, back into her dorsal stripe. Comes up here. Comes up alongside her stripe on her back. It's fun to look at the shapes. They're all so different. See, the baby's quite a dirty little brown, like her white areas are quite dirty. So take that line, goes down her bum. And it comes down here. And it goes back and onto her bottom there. All right. I'm not going to worry terribly much about the background. I want it to be the horses to be, the zebras to be the focus. So I'm not terribly worried about the background. Having said that though, you watch, I'll get to the background and I'll do it because I'll lose control. And then I'm like, it needs a tree and it needs this and it needs that, and I end up doing it because that's how I roll. All right, come down and around, draw on the bottom, her stripe there. It's got quite a big butt cheek. Like that. I'll worry about the mum first. Get her all right, then I'll do the baby. Now her stripes start to change direction and get a little bit thinner coming down her leg. Like that. Make that line a bit smaller. Did that work? Yes, it did. Okay. Just gonna make that line a bit smaller. And down onto her hock, just there. Just got little stripes on the back of her hock there. And there's all different species of zebra. There's a plain zebra and there's, I can't remember what the other breeds are. They're all slightly different, which is fascinating. Some of them have stripes going right down their legs, some don't. Some have bigger rounder ears, some have sort of shorter, stockier ears. These little stripes coming down her tail, like that. Okay, now I can see the stripes on Mum's leg. Her leg is here. So I'll worry, I'm just going to do Mum's legs. See the top of the stripe there. Another one coming right around. Like that. Just going to fill those in. Okay, that's one front leg, pretty much. Now, where's her other one? I can just see her other front leg coming down here. You can just see the stripes coming down. Like that. And then this back leg, I can see a stripe there. And the little one on her hock. And they sort of zigzag off down that direction on her leg. Like that. Okay. That's not too bad. Now I'll draw the inside line of her ear. Trim around that one. I'll draw the little bit. Now I'm going to make my pen smaller and I'm going to bejiggly in the top of, actually I'll make it a bit bigger, and mark in the top of her mane, because you can see the top of the mane is very black, very top. So where that bejiggity line was, I'm going to rough in the top of her mane, leaving messed up lines because they're not perfect. And then I'll go in with the white or the creamy colour. Take that the whole length of the mane, just a bejaggedy line. Like that. You see the mane sort of splits up a little bit here, gets thinner, and then goes off like that. Okay, then her tail, I'll make that a bit thicker up there and just fill in that tail where it's swooshing, because she's swooshing at the flies. I reckon in Africa there'd be lots of flies, very hot and dusty. It even looks dusty in this reference. All right, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to go to a white. I'm going to drop the size down on my pen. I'm going to start to fill that in. I might make that picture larger. Larger would be good. Not that large maybe. There we go. Make my pen a fraction bigger. I'm going to fill in the light bits. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to make that smaller. Oops. Always go the wrong way first because that's how I roll. Fill in all these white areas. Just remembering, go the direction of the fur. It doesn't matter so much now because the top layers will be the fur detail. I'll make that a bit bigger, make it to a size 11 pen. 11 nib. I'm pretty much just using 2 pens. I've used my dip pen for the outline drawing. I'm using like a marker or the equivalent to a marker for the colouring in part. When I do the fur, I might add a rough sort of a brush. Keep it simple. You don't have to have all the tools that have been released. You can get by with 2 or 3. When I do traditional art, I use 2 or 3 brushes. So I sort of try to stick to the same with my digital. I stick to my favourite brushes that I would use in real life, which is a dip pen, like a wash brush. If I was doing markers, it would be a thick marker, a thin marker, and a fine liner, which is pretty much what this is. I suppose this is more of a drawing than a painting. That is almost all white. I'll fill that in. It's going to blend. I've got like a Q-tip tool that blends for me, which is nice. So it's what I would use if I was doing in real life. Go back to my markery pen. Come around here. Hear the dog's going off, don't know why. All right, follow it the direction, come around. Go into her mane as well. Start to fill all that in. That black actually goes up behind her eye there, so I'm going to take that down. As I see little things, I can fix them up. Come around here, slowly filling in. Just work one part of the body at a time. Keep it simple. I usually work over the whole picture. I'm trying to break it down into sections. Just break it down into sections. Okay. Follow that down and around. She's got actually dirt and stuff all over her face. So after I've done this part of her face, I'll add some dirt. That should be fun. This would actually be fun as a, like a lino print. You could do this in just 2 cuts. Just do the stripe cut and add the black ink and the white ink. You could do a fun lino print with this actually. If you wanted to keep it just 2 flat colours, like black and white, that would not be a hard thing to do. And like when you do screen printing on your shirts and things. I used to do that a million years ago. All right, come down and around. To the chin. You can see I've erased one of her cheek lines, so I better put that back. So I go back to my black marker, come down here. Mark that in there. I might even, don't need to, but I think I will, add a little line there just to taper that chin a little bit. And I'll add the white all around it. And then I'll go in with like a greyish colour. I'll blend a little bit first though, I think, actually. Having said that, I will blend a little bit. It's starting to get hot. I might have to take my jumper off. I've got a t-shirt underneath, so I'm just going to soften these edges a little so they're not quite so harsh. Get rid of any little hard lines. Well, not all of them. I'll mix and match. Get rid of some hard lines. Soften up the black around the edge of her nose. Like that. Just soften up those lines. Blend in around the edges of her nostrils, where her nostrils are going to be. Like that. So you just soften that up a little bit. Like that. Blend in any bits that I've missed. It just blends them together nicely. Softens everything a little. Okay, take that up her mane, onto her ear. All right, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to take my jumper off because I might. Okay, bear with me a second. There we go. Got a black t-shirt on, so we're good. All right, now I'm going to add a little bit of brown. I'm going to go back to this taupey colour. It's in the background. I'm actually going to go back up to the greys. Drop the opacity, drop the size. Go back to like a watercolour-y brush because I can see she's got this sort of greyish dirty marks around here. She's darker up here in her mane. On her ear, a little bit more shadowed. A little bit shadowed on the top. Just darken things up there because they're not all one flat light colour. Like that. She's got shadow around this bottom part of her mouth. She's actually quite a lot in shadow. Now that I mention it, I might even drop the opacity right down, make the brush huge. Whoops, not do that. maybe not that huge. Go over the top of a lot of this grey. She is quite shadowed. Let's go over the top of the whole lot, the direction the fur would go. Like that. Now, will that keep that greyish colour? Probably not, but that's okay. I'm going to go more opacity. Darken it up even more. Make it a stronger sort of a grey. Just having a quick look. She's much darker around here. Might even go to my dip pen. I'm better with my dip pen. That's better. Gives me even stronger fur texture. That's a bit better. Get a bit of fur texture going. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to my rough brush. Go to my rough brush to get the furry colour, so yeah, fur texture, I mean. Like that. It'll soften it all. It'll look like just a pen mark then. Like that. Alright. I'm going to go to a purpley black in her nose. I'm going to draw. Can't even see it. I know it's there. I know it's there. Actually, I've got a grey off around her mouth. So I think that's that grey. Drop the opacity right down. You can see that comes down onto her chin a little bit. It's a bit more of a browny colour, but that's all right. I'll fix that up. Just add a little bit of nostril mark. You can mix and match and sort of play things around a bit. Go to this sort of rough brush. Go back to my white now. Move up the neck. Go back to my that one. Markery kind of brush. Start to work my way around the rest of the head and neck. Actually, I've got to do the black in the eye. Otherwise, that's going to drive me crazy. Do the iris. There we go. And I'll give her a little highlight, because why not? But I won't give her a white, bright highlight. I'll give her a greyish highlight. Actually, I've got to make it darker than that. Control Z, delete. And then I'm going to go back into the greys like that. Not make it a bright highlight, just a pinkish highlight like that. That's too big. Make it smaller. Like that. That's better. Happy with that. Might give another little one just down here. There we go. I'm happy with that. Now I can go back onto her mane and start to work my way around her neck. And then come down here. Just work my way around. She's got a lot of white in her ear. I'm going to make that a fraction smaller now. Like that, so you can see it a bit better. Might move my photograph, my reference off the page a little bit if I can get my doodah to go over there. Whoops, no, that's not it. That's not the one. Ooh, that's the one. Move that down there a little bit. So there we go. There. Still need to move it a little bit more. Whoops. Like that. There we go. Now it's out of the way. All right. Fill this in. Come down onto the neck. Then around here. fill in these details. Coming down and around. Alright. I'll do the darker part of the inner ear. I'll do it in a brown. I'll do the inner ear in the brown. And I'll add the top, the lighter bits on top. My goodness, my dogs are going bananas. Alright. So now I'm going to add the white fur in. And down and around. Like that. Get that darker pattern. I'll do the really dark in the middle. Oops. I might go to the darker dark. Get the opacity right up. Fill in the darkest part of the ear. There we go. Look, coming along. Okay, I'll go the light white. Back to my bigger pen. Fill that in. Follow around the shapes. Like that. Fill it in. I might have to go in a minute, peeps, and calm these doggos down. So I might come back later to finish this off, or come back tomorrow to finish this off. So I've done 45 minutes, so that's not bad for a 45-minute effort. So I will be back tomorrow to finish this off, or maybe even later today to finish this off. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this far. I'll be back